Okay, Randy, go ahead.
Just kind of one big shared closet. I think there's something to be said if we can really start sharing things better. I want to change the way people think about things, stuff. Looking around my room, my closet, I'm like, I have way too many clothes to give it that much time. If I can create something where everybody starts like really loving this one dress and takes really care.
Okay, so this is an idea that I also came up with. Coincidentally, I found out that somebody else recently came up with the same idea. Now, what we're looking at here is fashion, and you gotta keep in mind that everybody's ideas of fashion is something different. Lakeland isn't one of the most fashionable places on the planet, as you can see from my attire, but we're gonna have to change that because it's part of the idea, what we're working on. New generation, we need to change. We need to change the way that we do things, our concept of the way that things work. We're a generation of change now, so that's what we're going to have to remember. And we're going to have to revamp boring places and start off with something new. Speaking of boring places, have you guys ever seen Boring Business Services downtown in Lakeland? I purchased one of their buildings, actually, one of the warehouses in the back, and we're literally going to revamp a boring building into something kind of neat. Here's a map of it. Downtown Lakeland's right here. Be right, close. Do any of you have a pile of clothes in your room, anywhere about? Give me a show of hands. Back row, I guess. Yeah, a few here and there. Has anybody ever seen somebody's garage just filled with clothes, like to the ceiling, like something ridiculous? I know I have seen it in all of my friends. There's a solution to all of this. This clothes library of Lakeland has the ability to wash clothes at a phenomenal rate. We can use 98% less water with a new system that Xerox came out with that uses pellets of plastic to clean your clothes. It's revolutionary, top of the line. And also using natural gas actually uses a lot less electricity, obviously it's natural gas, it's more efficient, and it dries your clothes in less time. Both of these actually indicate that your clothes will have less wear and tear, meaning you can recycle them easier. Which one of you would like to have a larger closet? Basically, almost every girl in the class. You guys here and there. Which one of you would like to be part of a revolution? Got 5, 6, a couple people. And who would like to contribute more to the community? That's a big, everybody like, oh, come on, everybody, at least a little bit, come on. No, but seriously. Renting clothes is the idea that we're talking about here. It's kind of weird. I know it's, I see a couple strange faces out there, but it's something new. It's something that we can try out. It's an experiment. The place that I showed you in the video, actually, they're doing it right now in California, and they're pretty successful with it. She makes and designs her own clothes, and people bring in clothes to sell and rent, whatever. You can have a huge selection of clothes if everybody gets together and kind of shares what they have. The premise is you rent the clothes, they wash them, you can rent them again. Cool thing about it is they fold it and iron it too. I don't know how many of you like to do that part, but it's pain. And you can have a huge selection of clothes to choose from. You go through it all day. Oh, this is kind of neat. And it provides a social thing. So here's how it works. You pay a deposit in either cash or in clothes. And that provides you how much you're allowed to rent. Obviously, we don't want to just give away clothes, and if you damage them or break them, we want you to be able to be responsible for them. That's where the deposit comes in. And the deposit in clothes, we give you a value for whatever you deposit. And there's a monthly fee, for the washing and drying and folding, that sort of thing, depending on how much you use. You check out the clothes, wear them, return them, and we wash and reset them so that somebody else can rent them. Revolution's very important, and that's what, I'm kind of a revolutionary kind of guy, so I like to throw out ideas out there, the cool thing about it is we actually can use locally made clothes, which brings back, the American in us that allows us to, use American-made products. And a lot of time they last longer, so, a lot of people getting use out of one dress or a suit that somebody might use. Like you design something, you want people to see your art. And that's the cool thing about it is, anybody can use your clothing. They have it throughout the time. And using my advanced technology, I can give a serial number to any piece of clothing you wear, which means that you can track, a particular piece of clothing that you like, and you can see, somebody else might have a similar interest in the same clothing, and somebody else with a similar interest in the same clothing means that you might want to wear what they're wearing. Kind of cool. It's be for men. They can wear suits, anything. Women, all sorts of dresses. How you guys do it. The downside is the damage. As you're wearing clothes, they get damaged. But, that's basically what the deposit's for, to cover that sort of stuff. Odor, that's the number one thing that I run across is people like, hey, I don't want my clothes to smell like somebody else. Well, in the washing process, they pay special attention to the clothing's odor. And the market, well, that's the mystery of it. And I'd like to hear some feedback from you after class, of course. To hear what you have to say about it. Everybody's got their own opinion. God made clothing for Adam and his wife, and he dressed them. So, it's only proper that we wear a dress. So, my presentation. Clothes.